from a single parent household. My mom, man, she was like, oh man, a superpower, a super warrior. Got a sister, she older than me, but it was me for real, outside doing things that I never should do, right? So watch this. I didn't grow up in the hood. I just used to walk down to the hood. And that's where all the trouble, all the fascination with the streets and all of that came about. But I don't like to read. I don't have no patience. I just can't stand the lackadaisical attitude. I always move with a sense of urgency. Also, one of the things I quickly noticed about me too was that I'm not any better than anybody. I'm not better than anybody. I just knew I was different. And because I knew I was different, I had to move accordingly and move differently. So those are some of the things that made up me and who I am. But the real thing is, when I started to have kids, that kind of changed my life a little bit. For the better, obviously. I had a little bit of patience, but then more importantly, I had somebody depending on me. So, you know, I had to change things up and how I moved and who I associated myself with, but also too, what my life goals were. I got to start to focus on the long term. I also got to start to focus on my day-to-day routine and my day-to-day activities, because I got little ones watching me, and I used to take that, and I still do. I take that very, very seriously, because they even watch me to this day, and I love that. One of the greatest things about who I am is being a father. That's a whole makeup. That's a whole responsibility that a lot of people, I don't know, really take that by the horns and just understand what that means to you, but more importantly, what that means to the individuals that call you dad, that call you father, that call you, you know, whatever that term of endearment is. So, you know, just being from Virginia to 757, 2 up, 2 down, it's always been an amazing feeling. And I just like to reverence where I was from, how I grew up, who I grew up around as well. Anytime you talk about setbacks, challenges, obstacles, they vary, right? Like so many people create a mountain out of a molehill, et cetera, et cetera. But we all have them. The crazy thing is, when I joined the Coast Guard, your boy didn't even know how to swim. A lot of people didn't even know I was in the military. I joined the military, joined the U.S. Coast Guard. I was in there for about 10 years, and I didn't even know how to swim. But you got to think about where I came from, right? So I didn't come from the streets. I just used to associate with the streets. So now I'm going into the military. Your boy don't have no structure. I'm not used to people yelling in my face. And I damn sure ain't used to being around a different ethnicity than just being African American. So now I'm taking all that as a challenge, and I'm only 17, 18 years old. So I got to quickly and concisely, mentally get to a point where I got to understand this dude yelling at me in my face at 4, 5 in the morning, but I'm getting paid for it too. So I had to grow up very fast. I ended up getting a fight in the military, man. Like the first 2 weeks of boot camp, I got into a fight. And I was having a really, really hard time, difficult time just adjusting to structure in my life because I really never had it. And those things really made me the man that I am today. But as we kept going in my career in the Coast Guard, I'm learning all these things just about myself. Yo, Jay, you got to understand that everything ain't going to come easy. You got to understand what work ethic really, really means. You got to understand what commitment means. The military taught me all of that. Plus the fact that too, now I'm being able to communicate with people that I've never grew up around. So I'm learning how they move. I'm learning how they talk. I'm learning what push their buttons and how they grew up to make them move the way they move. And being in that environment and quickly growing up, especially in a boot camp, fast-paced environment, is nothing like it. Now, I don't push people to be in the military, but what I do take away from it and I give my story is just the simple fact that it can create structure for people that do not have structure. The thing that got me to the place that I am today, it gave me that structure. But man, it was a hell of a ride. We talking about obstacles. We talk about biggest things that are in your way to get you to where you need to be. That was a huge, huge mountain. And for some people, they probably like, man, that ain't no big deal. But man, you just can't yell in my face and think I'm going to be cool with it. But that was a whole mountain and a whole lot of lessons that I learned from being in that Coast Guard arena. I call it arena because it was like the gladiators to me. And that's where I stand. That's where I'm at with it. imagine not coming from money, and now all of a sudden, it ain't overnight, but all of a sudden you getting money. All of a sudden you taking trips. All of a sudden that, you living at your mama house, and now you buying your first home, or you buying your first car, et cetera, et cetera. You got to understand, when you start to climb and elevate your life, the people that was with you when you were down and out, are they going to still climb that mountain with you? You're doing things differently. Your mindset is now different as well. One of the things that I quickly understood and was a big lesson in life for me was I can't take everybody with me. And of course I want to. They're my boys, they're my homegirls, they're my people that when I was broke, when I was mentally broke as well, because there's two types of broke, right? It's physically broke and then it's mentally broke. When I was broke on both ends of the spectrum, I had no clue that those individuals didn't have the wherewithal or the mindset to climb up out that hole. But once I started to climb out that hole mentally first, then physically second, I quickly noticed that I can't take everybody with me. Those are the people that I felt like I could trust. Those are the people that I felt like I could, guard my heart and guard my secrets with. Little did I know, as you start to climb and as they start to either decline or stay the same, the envy is a real thing. You got the people that sit right next to you. They are the closest to you. They know all your secrets. Those are the people that can quickly stab you in your back. So you got to really, really be careful when you're climbing and you're elevating mentally and elevating a new circle around you, because as you start to be successful, guess what starts to happen? You create another circle. It ain't no real thing called no new friends, but you do get new associates, right? And they become friends as the money starts to grow. So you really have to take that lesson in life about you can't take everybody with you, because if you do, what's going to start to happen is you're going to start to really understand that they were always snakes, but they didn't have nothing to snake you from because y'all was on the same level. Now that you start to elevate, you really got to pay attention to who you have in your circle, keeping your circle small, and who you can trust. Because just like Biggie said, more money, more problems. Yo, we all wish we had a time machine. Matter of fact, if you didn't even have a time machine, we all wish we had a crystal ball so we can either predict the future and create the mistakes or erase the mistakes before they're created. Man, if I was able to talk to my 21-year-old self, number one, I wasn't even sitting on the couch. I probably was outside in the backyard, dribbling the basketball, still thinking I'm fitting to go to the NBA or something like that. But this is what I would tell my 21-year-old self. I'm going to give y'all 3 examples. Because, like I said, if I could get in that time machine and go back in the day, number one, but don't write this one down, I'd tell my man, yo, you got to dress a little bit better. Them baggy clothes ain't the way. That's the first thing I would have told my man. But let me get on the serious note, man. We talk about the keys to success, and I would have reached back to my 21-year-old self. The first thing I would have told him was, yo, you have to be patient. Who knows how long it's going to take you to be success? And the word success is relative. Stop measuring yourself with the word success by looking to the left and looking to the right, because that ain't your path. That's the first thing I would tell myself. The second thing I would definitely tell myself is you got to work in your communication skills. I told y'all, man, I was heavy in the streets. So my slang, I thought that was the way that you communicate. I thought that was the way that I'm supposed to use my vocabulary and my vernacular. Little did I know that people don't take you serious if you can't put a full sentence together without saying a whole bunch of yo this and yo that. So you got to work on your communication skills, because communication helps people clearly know what your intentions are and if you're able to be a business partner or not. The third thing I would definitely tell my 21-year-old self is this: you got to look the part, homeboy. You just got to look the part. A clean cut is cool. Brushing your teeth is all well and dandy as well, but just dress how you want to be addressed. I don't care about, T-shirts and jeans as long as it's well put together. I don't care about suits and Stacey Adams or whatever your hard bottoms are, just as long as it's well put together. A lot of people really don't focus and pay attention on how they dress, because that's how you want to be addressed. It ain't always got to come in the boardroom with a suit and tie, but you can come in the boardroom looking well put together. So those individuals that you're looking to do business with just going to take you serious. And at the end of the day, you want to be taken serious because you got some real things to say. Also, I tell my 21-year-old self too, look, check this out, man. You got time and a place for everything. Stop rushing, stop rushing, stop rushing, and be extremely patient with yourself. Man, check this out. Let me tell y'all what we've been doing, then I'm going to tell y'all where we're going. So since 2017, 2018, I created a program, right, called the Federal Code. So I've been personally getting government contracts since 2008. So now when I created a program, all we do is legit help small businesses and individuals understand what the world of federal government contracts looks like. So my program right now has over 7,200 students. Out of those 7,200 students, we've already sourced and procured over $55.6 million in federal government contracts. That's where we at. But let me tell y'all where we're about to go to. The Federal Code program is going to expand, right? So one of the things about my past is I was locked up. Okay, cool. Everybody got a lockup story, but I was locked up. One of the things that I noticed when I was getting released, I really didn't have any good direction. So I'm going to take the Federal Code program in the federal prison system where when you're about to be released 6 months from prison, you're able to qualify for my Federal Code program. So now when that individual is released back into society and they're in a halfway house, no longer do they have to hurry up and rush and get a job where they probably won't get anyway. No longer do they got to have the PO on their rear end to hurry up and get a job. Well, they can finish the Federal Code program while they're being released, and that takes the pressure off of them, but that also helps them get acclimated into the world of entrepreneurship. I know some of y'all going down the rabbit hole of YouTube University and trying to figure out this thing of government contracting. I know what the biggest problem is. You just can't figure out that government jargon, because I couldn't. It took me a long time myself, but now you're going to have the help and the mentorship and the guidance of myself and individuals on my team that have been doing this hand over fist. Right now, we're in the year 2024, baby. I've already secured and won 8 contracts this year right now. So I'm not talking to you about something that I used to do. I'm talking about stuff that we do right now in today's society, in today's climate. Everybody want a piece of entrepreneurship. Everybody want a piece of what they call residual income. So I'm going to give it to y'all in this program. I'm going to make sure you can easily digest this information to make you want to execute it, and that's called the Federal Code. This world, your world, my world, everybody's world is made up of options. Everybody got an option, right? But you got to understand, most people will specifically look for individuals or companies to work with. And what's so special about my company? What's so special about my program? Let me take you back real quick. So watch this. Nothing is special about me. I told you one time before that I'm no better than anybody. I just recognize that I'm just extremely different. My work ethic, and I'm from the 80s. I know I look young because I drink water and mind my business, but I'm from the 80s. So I'm still from the era where my word is my bond. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I say I don't know something, I'm going to figure out what I don't know. And those are some of the intangible characteristics that a lot of people don't showcase or don't have. And I quickly showcase that just by my verbal communication and also my written communication. So when I started to win contracts personally back in 2008, 2011, all I had was my word. And that's what I was always big on. So now when these general contractors and these subcontractors look to work with me, we come up to a specific dollar amount and I pay them on time every time, which means what? That means the federal government gets their work done on time every time as well. And I didn't do nothing special but wash, rinse, repeat. And that gave me a good reference point for other contract specialists to tell other agencies about me, who I am and what we do and just how we do business. Everybody know word of mouth travel fast. And if you got the positive word of mouth, that's going to flow through the government better than water. It's going to flow. So now when I got that experience and I'm taking that experience that I've gotten since 2008 And now we start to teach. Now we start to build a program. Now we start to build a community. Guess what started to happen? That word of mouth thing all over again. And they come and they learn, but more importantly, they get the level of their success. I'm not going to tell you what the level of success that you want, but what we do is I'm going to teach you what the level of success that you're trying to achieve, not what we try to put on you. So we got the federal code program, and then I got my own businesses as well. And that makes up why people always want to work with me, because it's just me and I'm still here. Man, shout out to the good folks at Media Expertise. They've been amazing. They've been dope. They've been amazing. They've been taking pictures of me all day. They even took my phone and took pictures of me from the ground all the way up to the crown of my head. The environment has been like a club environment. Y'all ever been in a club and you kind of heard in the waiting room low speakers? Nah, this ain't it. The professionalism, the way they talk to me, the way they treat me. Even if you have a little hiccup, they ready to fix whatever that issue is to keep the timeline going to make you look like you're supposed to look in the best light humanly possible. Also, too, the dope thing is some food back there that, I can always eat and dip my hands into as well. And the weather in here, the climate and the conditions and the control in here, it feels good. I've been in a whole lot of warehouses and a whole lot of venue spots, and it's just extremely cold or super, super hot. Ain't none of that with Media Expertise. And I can't wait till y'all see this project. I know I'm going to look amazing. I know I'm going to look good. I don't know how the background look. I'm pretty sure it look fire. Jay White, first name, last name. I'll holler at y'all.